Okay, okay.
What were you doing?
Cuddling with Touche.
Doing? Can I see him? You got him to let you hold him and squeeze him?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I realized how soft he was on my neck.
It's adorable, Capri. Good job.
Okay, you can move, Touche. I'm cuddling left. Love you left. You want to put this on? Sure. Because it's probably fine. We can all of it out and put it on here.
Okay.
So you're supposed to let it with the nice smack. We're trying to get this out.
Hey there, and thanks for watching this series on Touche, the Indian ringneck. Now, he's one of the project birds that I've worked with, among many others. This is also Rusty, another project bird, and it's thanks to my patrons over at patreon.com/BirdTricks that I'm able to do this at no cost to either the rescues or the previous owners of these project birds. So if you like content like this, please consider supporting me over on patreon.com/BirdTricks. As those of you know that have followed Touche's story from the very, very beginning, I felt super bad about when I put him in an outdoor aviary that is beyond the yard that you're seeing right now with this enclosure. It's beyond my porch and in my backyard, and it's a 6-foot diameter aviary, and he went absolutely crazy and broke his last tail feather. Now, I was completely devastated over this. I didn't expect him to be so overly heightened and scared by being outside. I thought having Lefty would kind of give him his sense of calm. However, it was kind of the going out and coming back that seemed to be an issue. So I decided to start closer to home, so closer to his comfort level, which is the house. The entire house is his comfort zone. And so when Dave set up this enclosure, which used to be in our garage, I put it right there on my porch, so that the transition of taking him outside of the house and into this enclosure and then back again wasn't so crazy and wasn't such a big deal. And as you can see, he's way happier. He's way more calm, and I got exactly what I was looking for. So I wanted him to like being outside. I didn't want it to be traumatizing. I didn't want it to be negative. So I just wanted to take the time to comment about what I think this video's lesson is and kind of the story of Touche. I read this really cool quote the other day that said, "Embrace your pace." And I thought that that was so powerful and something that all bird owners need to fully understand and comprehend about themselves. That your situation with your bird needs to go at its own pace. You can't compare it to somebody else, especially me. I feel like people compare themselves to how quickly I may transform a bird and think that they're not doing enough, and that's not the case. Every bird needs to go at its own pace, and every person needs to go at their own pace based on what you know, what your lifestyle involves, etc., etc. A great example, I feel like, of this is Touche versus Lefty. Lefty was entirely ready for my 6-foot diameter aviaries in my backyard. Didn't faze him a bit. He loved it. Touche, on the other hand, was not ready. It fully just completely annihilated his threshold, which is what, you know, made him break his tail feather and get really scared, and made me go backwards in not only my relationship but the training and the desensitization and everything, because I blew out that threshold. I just think it's a really great reminder that birds and people just, they don't go at the same pace. And so although Lefty was almost immediately cuddly and personable and sociable, and everything came easier with Lefty, I would say, Touche has his own pace, and he was slower. And I think that seeing the same methods used on both birds and how it affects each one differently is really important for you guys to see, because this is how I figure out what that bird's pace is. I realize I'm going at the proper pace for Lefty, but I'm going way too fast for Touche, so I need to bring it back with Touche, which is hard because for me, I've only worked with one bird at a time, so I've just kind of been able to keep one pace and just go for it. Having two birds and trying to work with both at the same time and progress at the same time has almost made me propel forward and then also take steps back at the same time, because Lefty and Touche are buddies, so I try to keep them together, and I try to use that whole golden retriever cheetah concept for my advantage and for their advantage, but sometimes it doesn't always work and it backfires. So I just kind of want this video to I guess stand as a reminder to all of you that embrace your pace, you know, just accept it. Understand that baby steps are even baby steps, as small as they may be, if they're in the right direction, that's progress. And you don't need to be comparing yourself to anybody else. You need to embrace your pace and understand that this is your journey and enjoy the journey. Because that's what really counts, and making it enjoyable for yourself and your bird versus a stressful thing or a never good enough thing or a not fast enough thing is unfair to both of you. And it's something that I've had to be reminded of feeling like I'm doing amazing with one bird and not enough with the other one. I've just been able to enjoy where each bird is at and embrace their own pace. So anyways, I hope this resonates with some of you, and I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing Touche's progress, even though it is slightly behind Lefty's. I'm really proud of him and the desensitization sort of stuff that he's been able to pull through. You know, in some ways he's way far ahead of Lefty as far as his confidence around the house and getting around and his flight skills and communicating to me. I feel like Touche is a lot more clear of a communicator than Lefty. So, you know, Touche can fly into my bedroom to let me know that it's bedtime and he wants to go to sleep, whereas Lefty's not a confident flyer quite yet. His flights are still really short and he just doesn't make it that far. So anyways, I hope you guys get a lot out of these videos of these journeys. I will say that transitioning Touche to my porch enclosure was really easy. You saw his first day in there, he fluffed up and he was great. What I started to do to just make it even better, even though initially he accepted it very, very well, is I started associating that cage with bathing, which Lefty absolutely loves. Touche probably loves it 50% of the time that Lefty loves it. So I did associate it with bathing because it's not a negative thing for Touche. And then I started associating it with meals. So if there was any time where Touche wouldn't step up to go outside, I would move Lefty out first because Lefty's always excited to go out there. I would give him breakfast. Touche would hear and see me getting it ready. He would see me take the dish out there, and then he was always like, okay, I want to go too. And once I really set up this routine of this is where you get breakfast, this is where you get dinner, and then you guys come in at night and you go to bed here, he was super receptive. And I can't wait for you guys to see the next video with Touche about handling and holding his feet, because I get this question a lot of should you hold a small bird's feet. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like in the next video, but I hope you really got a lot of value out of this one. Please let me know in the comments if you did. Hey, little baby.